ETV Sports presents Eagan Wildcat Football. Tonight, the Wildcats take on the Lakeville North Panthers.
Welcome inside Wildcat Country. Week 8 of the regular season is already upon us. Last game of the year for the Eagan Wildcats at home. Tonight, their opponent, the Lakeville North Panthers. My name is Mike Cook. Ken Merwin with us. Evan Cook doing stats up here in the booth. Ken, we're looking at a Wildcat squad that a little struggled defensively last week against Wayzata.
It was a great game up to a certain point. I think we talked about it all season long, Mike. At a certain point, even if the Wildcats are in football games, the physicality takes its toll, and we start to fade late in the second half.
Yeah, it was a 41-21 final here in Wildcat Country, and that was homecoming. Unfortunately, they got ruined by the Trojans. Lakeville North, on the other hand, they've lost 2 straight, which is odd. Not so much they've lost 2 straight. They've scored a grand total of 6 points in those 2 games.
When you mentioned that they had such a kind of dismal offensive production during that time period, I think everybody was shocked. It sounds like when they win games, they put lots of points up, and when they don't win games, obviously they're putting up less than their opponent, but they're really not getting the job done offensively.
Yeah, you mentioned that point differential. As you look at the Panthers heading on the track here at Wildcat Country, 4 wins this year for Lakeville North. They averaged 41.25 points a game. In their 3 losses, they averaged 6.3.
So basically, rise up tonight defense. You got a really good chance of knocking these guys out if you keep them off the scoreboard.
And I'll tell you what, for Lakeville North, we'll get into this a little bit later, but this game is potentially huge for playoff seedings. 6A playoffs will start on the 27th. Lakeville North guaranteed a home game in the first round because they're going to be somewhere in the top 3 seeds. Tomorrow morning is the section meeting, and it could be very interesting. But we'll talk more about that later as you look at the Panthers wearing the road whites. The Eagan Wildcats, they'll be coming out here momentarily with the slate-colored uniforms with the dark blue numbers. 4-3 coming in. Boy, you looked across. Gorgeous night for football here in Wildcat.
Absolutely. The temps are holding nicely. Probably still in the 60s almost, maybe. Not by much, but maybe.
A noticeable breeze is going to be blowing from the Eagan sideline to the Lakeville North sideline tonight. We'll keep an eye on that, especially with the kicking game. And we'll see how that affects Caden Hansen and the Wildcat offense, as I would expect them to throw the ball a lot tonight.
I think you got to get the ball down the field regardless of how you do it, but through the air is one option.
And here come the Cats. Coming out of the south end zone here momentarily. And it gets set, coming through the goalpost. Here come. You got the Cats flag, and you look on the left there, that's the PJ Fleck autographed oar from the University of Minnesota for Row the Boat. And the pit, they're excited here on the home side. The pit noticeably smaller in size than they were a week ago. Of course, this is MEA weekend, so it's Wednesday night football here in Wildcat Country. Kids are going to get a couple of days off as you look at the pit. Apparently, blackout is the theme tonight. I'll tell you what, let's throw it to Dave Giles again to get our national anthem started.
North end of Wildcat Stadium. The national anthem this evening will be performed by members of the Eagan High School choral group Cachet. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts
Nice job with the anthem. And you saw the flag at half-staff down there. I understand Governor Dayton said we're half-staff today for that medic that was killed in that ambulance crash. Was it a week, 10 days ago up there on 694? That young paramedic who lost her life in that crash. So as we get set for football, again, the home grays, you see the blue uniforms, the green, I should say, with gray with the blue numbers. We've only been doing this all year. We can talk tonight.
You'd think we'd be used to it by now.
And you've got Lakeville with the traditional white road jerseys, red numbers. And I always like they don't put names on the back. They put the name Lakeville.
Yep, right on.
Team unity over there for the Lakeville North Panthers. 4-3 coming in. The Wildcats, they're 1-6. Coach Brian Boston leading his Panthers into Wildcat country. I asked Coach Boston before the game. I said, "Well, the problem, how you guys aren't scoring a lot of points." He says, "Yeah, we're getting no offense." Like, Coach, we need a little more than that. So it sounds like Lakeville North, one thing, they're going to get the ball first, by the way. A lot of injuries for Lakeville North, especially at the running game. We will keep an eye on that. And matter of fact, tonight, Brian Curtis Jr., he's a 5'11 junior, one of their top backs. He's out with an ankle injury. Heard it a few weeks ago over at Farmington. Missed the Maple Grove game, and I guess they tried to play him a little bit last week against Prior Lake. Probably shouldn't have, as it turns out, so he's taking the night off, get healthy. He's got 87 carries for 422 yards and 4 touchdowns for the Panthers this year. So that means the main back for the Panthers tonight could very well be Ryan Dalrymple. He wears number 1, 244 yards on the ground for Dalrymple. Will is going to kick things off for the Wildcats, moving left to right across your TV screen. We got 12 minutes on the clock. We got 11 guys on each side of the field. We're just waiting for the signal. And Will's about to swing that right foot into it. We are underway in Wildcat country. Short kick. North's going to have a nice return out across the 30. Near the 35 is where the Lakeville North Panthers are going to start things off. Once we get everybody all situated there. A short kick there by Willis. And Lakeville North, their signal caller is junior Brennan Keebler, number 13, right-hander. We might also see some of Braden Walsh tonight. He's a southpaw, 5'11 senior. He wears number 16.
You know, the Cats are having a tough season, Mike, and it's important that they get off to a good start early in this game. They've had some defensive success. Maybe it's good that we're starting on that side of the football tonight.
I believe Roger Nelson, the lone back for the Panthers. And he'll get the ball on first down. Yeah, it's 2, maybe, about 5 on that second and third effort. Mason West, among others, in there for the Wildcats. 5-yard gain there on first down for the Panthers. And we got the pit trying to get things fired up here on the home side with the I Believe. And yes, folks, those are the stands that are shaking. That's not your television set. 2nd and 5 for North. Yeah, give it to Nelson one more time. He'll cut right first down and more. Look out. Yeah, can he break that last tackle? He cannot, but he's across the Wildcat 40. Down to about the 37-yard line.
You know, we've had great success this season at different times when we've made good penetration. The guys up front have done a fantastic job, given the fact that a lot of them are on the field a ton. When they make those corners on us all year long, it's resulted in big gains.
So fresh set of downs just inside the Wildcat 40. Here comes Nelson once again. Gets that little bit of a seam, and he'll pick up about 5 once again. That's going to be 2nd and 5 upcoming for the Panthers. I'll tell you, Lakeville North, they got a couple of big kids on that offensive line that you want to keep an eye on tonight. Bryce Bennett, and when I say big, I'm not kidding with Bryce Bennett. He's number 68. He's 6'9", 295 on the top left of your screen. Understand he's got some D1 schools looking at him. He's just a junior. And Nate Bowe, number 66, he's a 6'5", 265. He's a Gopher commit. So he'll be rowing the boat with PJ Fleck and company. And we get the fullback with the ball that time for the Panthers. I believe that was number 44, Miles Mikowski, his first carry of the game. He's going to set up 3rd and about 4 for Lakeville North. Drive that started back on about their own 35-yard line. Thanks for being with us here on ETV. A special shout out to those of you watching us tonight on the World Wide Web. Here's Nelson for the Panthers. Good job by the Wildcat D.
Again, too, we do get some penetration at different times, and that was a perfect example of that. We get into the backfield just a little bit. They slowed them down. They have had some success so far.
Jack Stump, first man in for the Wildcats. They're going to give him actually 2 on that carry. So it's 4th and 2. See which coach Brian Boston calls for the Panthers. Look at that Wildcat defense. Mason West is number 1. 54 is Bubba Learin. Those guys are going to be busy tonight up front. 4th and 2. Nelson. And that's gonna, I don't think he got there. It's going to be awfully. No, he's going to be well short. Actually, once the spot comes down, good job by the Wildcat D. I think Sackmaster might have been in there as well, number 13 for the Wildcats.
Replay.
That's big Bubba Learin with the initial hit. Actually, that's going to be Bubba on a solo. So that's what the Wildcats need. Get things fired up. You make a nice defensive stop. And Caden Hansen and the offense are going to come out here with 9:23 to go in the opening quarter.
What a way to start this game off, too, with a team that has been known to put points up. You're in 4-down territory this early at almost any point in the field for this Lakeville Panther team. And they come up big with a stop.
Cat's going to send a 3-receiver set right away. Hansen, he's going to come near side. Looking for Woods. Got him. That's going to be out inside the 45. Excellent play by the Wildcats. 27 yards on the pass to Woods.
All season long, we've had a fairly impressive mix of run, pass, run, pass. Cats come out with a pass start right away, and let's see how he got himself open. Nice pass floated down that sideline.
Actually, they're going to spot the ball at the 42, make it a 28-yard gain. Hansen, he's going to pump. He's looking, coming near side. Cat's looking for a penalty, as Woods might have been. Thought he was held. It's like on a down and up.
He certainly lost his footing or something, but as you've seen where that ball landed, there was nobody there, meaning that had he gotten there, it could have been another nice timing throw and catch.
Well, we sure expect to see the flag blowing there. That's how that wind is going. We mentioned that crosswind earlier. I expect Eagan to throw the ball really just about every play tonight. And that one's going to be out far side. Sundberg on the reception. He got popped right away. Give him maybe a couple on that one.
We're certainly not a think pass first team, so the fact that we're coming out and throwing the ball up the field, I think it's a great idea. I think it kind of shows a new look for us. Little penalty on the Cats here, it looks like.
Yeah, it was Nick Gregg on that hit for Lakeville North. That very nice job of taking on the Wildcat back. We mentioned the Wildcat rushing struggles. They're averaging only 65 yards on the ground per game. Meanwhile, they give up almost 224. So it's a difference of about 159 yards.
Well, and I'll tell you something, this game wouldn't necessarily signify that, but I would like to see at what point in the games thus far that we've given up the majority of those running yards, because we get tired in that second half.
2nd and 15 with the penalty. Hansen calling out the shots. And they're going to audible. He's got Nquantu in the backfield with him. Told Lakeville North they like to send about 7 every time. Let's see what they do here. They've got, it looks like 6 up on the line, and they're going to bring them all. Pass across the middle, inside the 40, down near the 35-yard line. Where the Cat's going to set up 3rd and short. I'm going to assume that's LaChance. Let's make up for sure. It is. A tight end for the Wildcats. That play's been there so much this year.
We've called LaChance's name quite a bit this year as well, so nice to see that hookup.
So 3rd and about 3 for the Cats from the Panther 35. Hansen scrambles, throws, got his man, first down, Cats.
Nicely done. Flushed out of the pocket, kept an eye on the receivers as he checked them down, found a man on the left side.
And that was Tate Sundberg on the reception. It's going to be first down Eagan at the Lakeville. They're spotted at the 26. About 10 yards on that last play. Cats yet to run the ball. You got Sundberg lined up left. Check that, Sundberg to the right. He's over here with Woods. That's actually 31 for the Wildcats on the far side. Tyler Ernst. Hansen near side. Sundberg, he's corralled last. Almost bull-ridden down at about the 16. Is it going to be enough for a first? It's going to be close. Looks like they're going to spot him at the 17, so that should be a 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1 upcoming for the Cats.
Cats on the move. They're going to the guys that have gotten it done for them all year. LeChance, Sundberg, and like we said earlier, they're throwing the football, Mike.
5 of 6 on this drive thus far for Hansen. Got Quant in the backfield. 4 receiver set. And they're going to go across the middle. Once again, low throw. Did he get it? Did not. That was Sundberg, the intended target.
He had him in the middle.
He did.
The throw was low, and probably if you're going to if that ball's not going to be on target, you'd rather it be low in that part of the field than overthrown, because it's a pickoff guaranteed if he overthrows him or something. So a well-tossed missed pass.
3rd and 1. What do the Cats do here? A lot of options. The chance comes back in the wing. And Quanta, that would have been my guess, and that was not the right move, as he's going to go back to about the 20. That's a 3-yard loss on the first run of the ball game for the Eagan Wildcats.
It looks like they might take the points here, Mike. What is that, about a 35-yarder if they are in foreground territory, but I do see Willis out there.
Yeah.
Take the points, boys.
30, number 20, and Willis is the Wildcat kicker.
And you've talked about it a couple times, Mike. The wind is blowing here. It's left to right as the kicker looks at the field goal. Right to left, I'm sorry.
Plenty of leg. Is it accurate? No, missed it just left. That's what I thought. Good initial reaction. Willis is now 4 for 6 on field goals this year. If you look at, there's that wind once again, and I think the wind might have got a hold of that one.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't end over end. It was kind of more spherical, and yeah, the wind did push it. Not a bad drive though. They came out throwing.
Take a look at it once again. I think it started more towards the center, and then nope.
Had the leg.
Yep.
All right, the defense was big on that first go-around. They got a much favorable starting position for themselves. Let's see what we can do here. Here come the Panthers.
Yeah, just over 5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. We're scoreless, Panthers and Wildcats. Now he's coming near side. Oh, just missed behind the line. And helping out back at about the 20, coming from the backside. Here's 41 Jack Stump for your Eagan Wildcats. Nelson, the ball carrier, got maybe a yard. He's fortunate not to lose 3 on that initially. Who said that line for Egan's going to have to play well tonight? Saw Brett Henlin out there, 55.
Well, you got to slow these ball carriers down in the box. Once they get on the other side of that box, they get yards.
Nelson cuts it up. Gets to about the 26-yard line. Pickup of about 6. Going to set up 3rd and rough 3.5 or 4. Sackmaster on the stop for the Wildcats. Look at number 13 there for the Wildcats. Cole Sackmaster, he's a 6'1", 200-pound junior. So, what do the Panthers dial up here on a 3rd and 6? Just past the halfway point of the opening quarter. Over to throw. Actually, he's not. He's going to keep. He's under pressure. Nice job by the Wildcat D.
Wow.
That is a team effort, and you saw a couple of guys, they are fired up out there for the Wildcats. Colin Williams among them, number 4. And I think Ben Kozumzak was in there as well. As you see Keebler, he's kind of maybe limping a little bit over to the sideline there for the Panthers.
Well, real typical coverage sack. They had guys flying upfield. The defenders were right with them stride for stride. Quarterback pulled it down and went, and there wasn't anywhere to go.
And we've got a flag on the play. I think he's going to get decent field position after a favorable roll for the Panthers down inside the Wildcat 30. But let's see what that hanky's going to be all about. He's back at the line of scrimmage. Let's see what the infraction's going to be. 5:01 to go here in a scoreless first quarter. And apparently it's going to be on Lakeville North as you look at Mason West coming out to decide what the Wildcats want to do with it. Mason, one of the captains on this team, along with 54, Ben Learen.
Illegal procedure on the offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Replay the down.
Well, there you go. There's the information that you need.
Absolutely. They're going to make him kick it again.
First penalty of the ballgame. No, Eagan had one earlier.
They did.
One aside.
4th and longer, and you know, when you got Tate Sundberg back there, I think kicking it again's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And that last one, you got a pretty favorable roll for the Panthers. I know during warm-ups it looked like Dylan Smith was their punter. Trying to, I believe, yeah, it is Smith. Not a packed house here tonight in Wildcat Country, but still a good turnout here for Wednesday night of MEA week.
Yeah, I think we attributed quite a bit of that absenteeism to MEA week, but everybody has to go through it. Let's give them something to cheer about. They'll be sad they left town.
I'd like to think the kids are home studying this evening. Sumberger is going to let that one go as well. That's not as good of a bounce.
Nope.
And actually, Eagan's going to gain about 10 yards net on that one as they're going to start down at their own 41-yard line.
Here we go, offense. Let's go.
Yeah, great starting position for the Wildcats here with 4:52 to go. As we said, scoreless opening quarter here on ETV Sports. And again, special shout out to those of you watching us tonight on the World Wide Web. Glad you're with us wherever you are.
Absolutely. You know, Mike, we've had a lot of games that have been really spirited contests. And this one here, it's a little slow moving right now. Maybe it's like a movie that takes a little while to get going. I tend to think that there's going to be some scoring very soon, and the team that strikes first may get some momentum, and they may start to run with this a little bit.
Yeah, you saw Ed Mostart there. He's a 6'4", 235-pound linebacker, 98 for Lakeville North. Just one of the many big boys on that North defense. And Quanta, and he is not even going to get near the line of scrimmage as, guess who? Eli Mostart, who we just mentioned with the stop. And he'll lose, looks like a loss of 1 for Inquanta on that.
Cats on the line again. We had some success through the air. I understand you got to mix it up. Let's see if they're going to mix it up heavily or shaken, not stirred.
You know, I don't mean this to be kind of a smile, but have the Cats huddled at all this year?
I don't think they have.
I don't think they have either.
They get that play in and they go.
He's got 5 receivers this time. Hanson's going to come near side. And he's got his man LaChance. That might get back to the line of scrimmage. And it's about where they're going to get, so it's going to be 3rd and 11 as Lakeville North read that well.
You know, the passes that we've connected on thus far have not been so kind of flat into the flats. We've actually gone up the field a bit. Let's see if the Cats run some routes back to the center of the field and let Caden Hanson air it out.
When I talked to Chris Black, the old coordinator before the game, he said one of the things they're worried about is North is so good up front. They bring 7 guys a lot of the time. You're going to have to give Hanson just a little time to throw.
It's about a second longer than you might need against a less effective front.
Right. And here they come again. Hanson's going to get that one off quick. Try to get across the middle, incomplete, and it's going to be 4th down Wildcats. Again, good rush that time as Woods was the intended target.
You know, the route was just getting open when Hanson released it. And just like we were talking about 1 second prior, that front that the Panthers have probably hurried that just enough.
So Cats going to punt this one away with just over 3.5 to go. Scoreless first quarter. Sackmaster to kick. A couple of guys back deep for the Panthers, including number 2, Nick Gregg. He had a big hit earlier from the secondary. And I believe it was that Nelson. Nope, that's number 10 on the far side, Keaton Mose. And they're going to stay away from it. Short kick. Will it take a favorable bounce for the Cats? It does.
Oh, much so.
And it'll trickle inside the 20, and Lakeville North will start at about their own 18-yard line.
Very nice.
Well, Coach Brian Vossen told us before the game for North, I'm like, what is your goal tonight other than don't get hurt? He said, we want to score a lot of points early. Egan's not giving them a chance.
No, at this point right now, the defense has been pretty stingy. They've been flushed out of the pocket. We've held our ground. They've tried to take it. Now they have moved the ball. They've taken it outside. We've held our ground. But again, like I said, they've moved it between the tackles. They've moved it outside. It's just going to be back and forth. Let's see which Eagan defense shows up on this series.
Keebler still in at quarterback for the Panthers. 6 guys on the line. They're going to hand it off. It was the fullback that came through with that one. That was 44, Mikowski. And he'll get a few, maybe it powers his way out to about the 22. Let's say 44 with 4. If you look at Tommy Schultz, the Eagan D-men. Schultz kind of been all over this year. He's also the long snapper for the Wildcats, number 3.
Double duty's not uncommon right now in Wildcat country, which contributes to that exhaustion in the 4th quarter.
Man, this will be Dalrymple, first carry for him, and it looks like it's going to be a good one. It crossed the 40, 45, 50, and he's finally dropped down at the 49 of Eagan. And that was going to be, is that Williams on the stop? No, it was number 2, Drew Grunkley with the stop. That's going to be a 29-yard gain for Dalrymple. Just nice hole there.
And it cuts back a couple times, so a very nice run.
I think that was 81, Zach Breeden with a big kick out. I think that was for North. So North just across midfield with 2:22 to go, opening quarter. Yeah, they're going to put this one in the air near side. He's got his man at the 38-yard line. Should be a first down for the Panthers. Yeah, it looks like number 8 with the catch. That's Owen Blazik.
Yeah, real basic route.
It's going to get him 11 and to move the sticks. Blazik, the top receiver thus far for the Panthers. Yeah, go right back to Dalrymple this time. And he'll get another good run down to about the 31. Let's give him 7 that time. It's Dalrymple, he's a 5'11 senior.
Right up on the line for the Panthers, not giving the Cats a real chance to think this through.
Yeah, this is one of those games, don't blink, you're going to miss a play the way these teams are both running their offenses. There's Dalrymple once again. That's going to move the sticks as he gets, I believe, down to about the 26, maybe the 27. Needed 3, got at least that. Number of Cats are slow to get up, and looks like down for the Cats is number 55, Brett Heinlein. He did get up. I think he was kind of rolling a little bit of pain there. See, limping a little bit. He'll stay with it. So it's a 4-yard gain on that carry. So it's first down once again. First and 10 inside the 30. Dalrymple once again looking for that block. He cuts it inside. They've had some success doing that here.
Yeah, they have. You know, once they get that head of steam up, they hit the line, they can fall forward for a few. So,
or you just cut to the outside and you pick up about 8 that way. This drive started back on their own 18-yard line, and this will be play number 7 upcoming for the Panthers. Inside the red zone for the first time tonight. Yep. Straight up, there's the fullback again. Mitkowski, check that. 13 in there, Sackmaster among those in there for the Wildcats on the stop. And that's going to move the chains. It's going to be first down at the Wildcat 16-yard line. And what could be the final play of the quarter, we're down to 39 seconds and counting. Of course, they're going to go to the air this time. Flushed out, thrown out of bounds. Good job by the Wildcat D that time. Good coverage in the backfield. I think Melville might have been back there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was good coverage downfield, and you know, the longer these routes continue to develop, oftentimes these quarterbacks, when they come to Wildcat Stadium, they seem to find guys behind our defenders.
And we talked about this in last week's broadcast. We haven't talked about Melville a whole lot in the second half of the year. Teams are just thrown away from him. He's been that good back there in the secondary, number 23. Here come, cuts it up down here, but breaks one tackle, 10, 5, down to the 6. That's going to be close to a first down. Let's see what they give him. Will they move the sticks?
Not quite.
No. Oh, wow. No, wait a minute. They're announcing first and goal, but the sticks haven't moved on the far side. With 18 and a half seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Now they've got it.
Okay, there we go. So it is first and goal at the 6. North trying to put one in here. Oh, it could be the final play of the quarter. And it looks like they are going to do so as Dalrymple crosses the plane. 6-0 Panthers. 82 yards on that drive. Well, that was a drive. I think you could just say North pretty much imposed its will.
They really did. It didn't look very effort. They just went out there and did what they have done at different points this season. And we talked about it. When they score points, they score a lot, and they typically win. So let's hope that we get the ball back. It's a fight. We got to punch back right away.
Smith for the PAT. And he splits the upright. So waning seconds, quarter number 1. It's 7-0. Lakeville North on a drive. 10 plays, 82 yards. Took 3:12 for North. And again, look at that.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you and I could have ran through that hole, Mike.
I was about to say that very thing.
That was a big one. And we need big holes, too, so we're just saying.
For sure, our stat guy could have done it.
Uh-huh. But he doesn't need much of a hole, but that was impressive. That hole was really, really wide.
And patriotism swelling apparently in the Lakeville North student section tonight. A lot of red, white, and blue over there. Saw some of the kids there in the front had the big fancy bib overalls on, and I will give North credit. You know, I've seen them play home games and road games over the years. Their fans travel well.
And you need that fan base, and it helps. Welcome, Panthers, to Wildcat country. Let's go out there offense and see if we can match these guys, keep this game real interesting.
So Sundberg will be back deep for the Cats as you look at the Wildcats coming on out on the special teams. Kieran Gamboni was out there, number 15. I don't know if we mentioned him this year, so one of the special teams guys. Yeah, those guys, they're out there, they're busting their chops as well, and they never get enough credit.
Absolutely.
Special teams guys. And they're going to do a little squib kick. And who's going to get it? Gutsy play, and the Panthers have it. Believe it, yeah, it is indeed number 3, Spencer Fossey with
that was a textbook onside kick, Mike. Kicked into the turf, took, I think, 2 bounces, and the second one, it just took off the grass. And at that point, you got guys streaking down. Your hands unit is out there.
There
as
it
you
is
see
again.
the replay. There's that second bounce that kicked it up, and then you just get your jumpers.
Yep. Well, Fossey, he's a D-back, so he's used to putting his hands on the ball. Boy, that Eagan defense is back out here once again.
Very well executed on that on that onside kick.
Do you call that a gutsy call, or do you call it a smart play?
Well, I mean, it's early in the game. Right. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish other than it's like rolling dice, and it worked out well for the Panthers. Let's see if the defense can answer.
Try to impose your will, I guess.
Well, they said they wanted to score early and often.
Now they're trying it again because Keebler's going to go deep, far side. And that ball, he tried to get Fossey, I believe that is on the far, no, that's Nelson, checked that on the far side. Incomplete. So we've got 2.5 seconds to go, opening quarter here on ETV. You know what? Hey, why not try it after that? You've got a little momentum going. Oh, McGlinty, let's see, 24, just off the left of your screen. He's limping there. There's a kid, he's played a lot this year going both ways. Got some big yards on offense earlier this year especially. Seems to have really kind of settled into that defensive line position.
Absolutely.
McGlinty, I believe he's 5'10", 204. He's a senior. And final play of the quarter. And Lakeville North going to get down to about the 35-yard line. Dalrymple with the carry.
Boy, another nice hole for that running back to shoot through.
And I'll tell you what I liked about him. Zoom. Just right up quick. There was no hesitation whatsoever.
When he gets to that hole, Mike, he is through it. And at that point, the next tier of defenders are kind of not really ready to see a guy coming at him that fast.
And I'll tell you, I mean, we talked earlier. I mean, you look at the size of this Lakeville North front 5. And then you throw a tight end in there as well.
Sure.
Eagan's got some guys. Let's face it, size is not their biggest asset this year.
Sure.
And Coach Hansen, he was saying the other day that, we really want to get kids in the weight room this year. That's one thing Eagan's got to get tougher at, is just get bigger. And I remember Larry Thompson, the longtime Lakeville coach, used to say, we got all these big farm boys down here. They're all, doing their chores and throwing hay, and that's just natural for them.
Well, oftentimes with the slighter frames and builds, you get speed, but speed will only carry you so far. You still need the strong guys up front to not only open the holes, but on the defensive side of the ball, to stand their ground. Size and strength, obviously, we're not inventing the wheel over again. It's a big part of football.
So it's going to be 3rd and 2 for Lakeville North as they switch ends. Going left to right. So Jack Stump, 41 for Eagan. Antonio Step on 56. McGlinty, 24. Like to see if the boys up front can make a stop for the Wildcats. Looks like Heinlen's okay there at 55. He was slow to get up late in the first quarter. See, they put a big fullback in there as Lakeville North, number 91, not listed on our roster. We'll see if we can figure out who that kid is. And he gives a big block too for Dalrymple. And that's should be enough for a first down out across the 35, down to about the 33-yard line. Be a 3-yard pickup. And there go the sticks on the far side. First down, Panthers. Yeah, look at that big kid there, 68. We mentioned him, Bryce Benhart. How do you want to be lined up against him for 4 quarters?
Good grief. It'll wear you out in a hurry.
Boston said there.
And there goes that bank of lights again. Mike.
Yeah, we had that. There was an issue before the game. We had the lights on the far side. Basically, you look straight up on their television screen. Imagine there's a bank of lights right there. They just went out.
You can tell how dark the field. Yeah, right, those lights right there.
Yeah, those lights, they went out. Well, somebody check with Dakota Electric.
Well, the issue isn't so much that the lights are out. The officials call it an official timeout. The issue is they have to figure out what's caused this second outage, and we all know that these types of lights take a moment or two to fire back up. So,
or longer.
Yeah, what kind of delay we might be under is the question.
You know, we looked out here during warm-ups. The light, our stat guy, Evan Cook, kind of looked up. He noticed them flickering a little bit like they were looking to come on. You see Coach Brian Boston there on the left, Ben Hansen and Eagan on the right. And they kind of flickered, came on, and then right before the game, maybe just before we came on the air, they were flickered again, but they did pop on. Let's go. Should we go like 9-man where you just pull up with everybody's cars and the headlights?
There you go. I like it.
Kind of small town football.
It's not. We can't rule that out because we don't know what's caused this second outage. And I mean, what do? Do you come to a gentleman's agreement that it really isn't that dark? Let's face it. It's darker in that corner of the field now than it is on the other opposing corner. But
right.
I don't know how you create an equitable situation or how you decide to proceed, or you say, well.
I mean, to me, the logical thing is you just flip sides. Don't you? I mean, I don't know what referee's got his yardage book out there.
Sure.
It's like golf. There we go. Let's go in, check it out.
Absolutely.
Going into the shack down there. We'll see if okay, everybody check the plug. Make sure everything's in. But right now we've got 11:36 to go in the opening half. It's 7-0 Panthers. They scored. Dalrymple had a 6-yard run not that long ago.
Several thumbs up by the officials, and I'm not exactly sure what they're thumbs up. And I think we've got our camera trained over on maybe one of the utility doorways or something. And
well, that second one, and that was Sandy Sutter Larson, the Eagan athletic director. Here comes her husband Wally off his golf cart. There's Sandy in the background. Should be coming out. See if we get any kind of reaction out of Sandy. Okay, Wally, can you run to Holiday? We need some gas.
Think we blew a fuse.
I like the Lakeville student section right now. They all got their cell phones
they do.
out.
There you go. I like that too.
And
so does the Pit, I believe.
It's like
doing what they can.
Yeah, the Pit's going to try as well.
Doing what they can.
Hey, you know what? It's week 8. It's a gorgeous fall night. I have no idea what they're singing. It's a gorgeous fall night. You know, it's MEA weekend. Let's have some fun.
You know, speaking of which, at different intervals throughout this early evening, I got really upset on realizing that it's not Friday night.
I know.
I got to go to work tomorrow, and I'm not very happy about it. Next year, I'm taking MEA weekend off.
Hey, we should mention, speaking of, as long as we're talking about you, before the game, it was senior night. All the Eagan seniors were out there, and we also had the dance team, the band members, and your daughter was out there.
I did. I have a senior dancer that was out there with us. My wife and I, Marie, went out there with Amanda. There was a baton twirler. All the fall sports had their seniors recognized in the Pit.
Speaking of, here we go. There's some earlier video of that.
Right on, and they did a nice job, the Pit did, of saying, you know, we love our seniors, and boy, I'll tell you, this is obviously the football team, and we're here to cover that game right now. So these guys coming out to play their last regular season game of their Wildcat careers.
And their last home game, no matter what.
Absolutely. Special night for them.
Yeah, because you mentioned that. We talk about the postseason. Eagan's going to, if they lose tonight, they're 1-7.
Tough draw.
Likely going to be the number 8 seed when the districts are set up. I guess somebody said the coaches have to meet at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Bring your own coffee, I was told.
Right on.
Danishes will be provided. But Eagan will be 8. Coach Hansen seems to think Eagan's going to get either the winner of the Cretin-Roseville game tonight, because he says the way they do the crossover games, they call them. 2 years ago, Eagan, who's in the South, went to the North. That was the year they went up, knocked off Centennial, and the Totino beat them on their way to a state title. Last year, they went to Eden Prairie. Well, I do even need to say what happened there.
Right.
So you went north, you went west. You're coming out of the South. That only leaves one direction. So I guess
head east, young man.
So logically, you would think the Wildcats will get the winner of this Roseville-Cretin game tonight up at University of St. Thomas. I saw something in the paper today. Roseville's got a really good record, but their opponents are something like 13-38. And Cretin, let's face it, is Cretin.
Right on.
You know, I don't think a lot was expected of them this year by Cretin standards.
I was just going to say,
they're playing well.
Standards. So we'll see what happens in that ball game, and then we'll see if Coach Hansen's premonitions were right. We're going to play in the dark here.
Yeah, Dalrymple
called his name all night long.
He's kind of really taken over in the backfield thus far for the Panthers. That was a 1st and 10 play, by the way. We're going to give him, got down to the 28. I guess that's about 6 on that carry. You do see the score. It is 7-0 North. 11:05 to go. We're still live on the air, on the web.
We got lights up here.
Yeah, right, good point.
For now.
Down up a good job. That's on Nelson this time. He's going to get close to the first down. Eagan defense, nice job of spreading him out.
They certainly did hem him in and made him put some thought into that. Normally, the last couple drives, the backs have just slashed into that hole so quickly, and at that point, they can impose their will, whether they go left, right, up, down. This time here, he had to make some decisions. A lot of jump cuts, a lot of moves, a lot of jukes. Not a long ways to go, 3rd and short.
3rd and short, yeah. I believe it was Mason West that led the way for the Wildcats. Oh, why not give it to Nelson? He cuts outside. He's going to get the sticks and a little bit more down to the 20 or so. Might have got just across on over in the darkness of Wildcat country tonight. Or those of you that just tuned in a little bit within the last 3 minutes, we had a bank of lights go out.
And I think the last time they were out, Mike, they did start to come up about now, but not yet. So we're still waiting to get this figured out.
First down at the Wildcat 20. Second time red zone for the Panthers. As we said, Brennan Keebler is their quarterback. And they're just going to run it again. And Nelson inside the 5. Will he go to the distance? He will. 20 yards, touchdown Panthers.
Well, they had a couple of chances to stop him, and that was a very interesting play. I think it was a pitch left, and then the back came back across the grain and wound up shooting around, maybe off tackle on the right side. Not a lot of resistance once he got out of the box. He scored, and you can see from that angle shot, it is pretty dark down there, Mike.
Defense couldn't see him.
We're going to stick with that. Now, they do have the white jerseys on, but they're not glow in the dark by any means.
Right. So in for the PAT will be Dylan Smith. Yeah, and the thing with that touchdown run, too, is he almost got stopped at the 5, but he kind of spun free. And that kick is going to be close. Not close enough. So a 13-0 Lakeville North as that kick was just to the left. Let's take a look at that replay on the run. So many guys had a chance. Well, there's the big hole. Nice job of cutting back. And it's right about here. He spins out.
Yeah, he was not to be denied.
No. And you know what? That kid's just a sophomore.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice to see those sophomores out there. I think the Cats are counting it up here for their kick receive.
At 13-0, they are down here early stages of quarter number 2. Hey, quick, I want to shout out Eagan girls soccer. Congratulations, section champions once again. Junior Grace Schoberg, left-footed shot, 15 yards out, 37.1 seconds left last night. 2-1 win over the Rosemont Irish. So the Cats, who won the state tournament 2 and 3 years ago, they're back to state. And by the way, Lakeville North, they beat Farmington 5-0. Their girls are going to state as well for soccer. Anna Steele, Emma Ristow, Haley Steele, Natalia Henry, and Alana Westerman scored for the Panthers. Quarters are next week. Semis are Halloween down at US Bank Stadium. State final November 2nd in the home of the Vikings. And
we were just talking about the sophomore contingent on the Panther side. Looks like Coach Hansen's going to the well too. I see some sophomores out there on their special teams kick receive. Panthers are going to start. That was a touchback, I believe. It's so dark down there,
yep,
Mike, I can't tell. Let's go. Lakeville North, Eagan Wildcats on a beautiful Friday night.
Absolutely.
We need to get some points here.
They need, well, you want to at least put together a drive.
Hey, Mike, I was kind of drifting off with my eyesight into the darkness. It's 13-0.
It is.
Did they not convert that extra point? Was it too dark that could I not see what happened down there?
Ken, I'd like to welcome you inside Wildcat country.
Thank you very much, Mike Cook and stat guy Ethan.
Missed it just left, so yeah, it is 13-0.
Excellent. Here I thought
Panthers are in front, and I think it's Lions for the Wildcats. Not going to get near the back to the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look. I'm looking for the ball carrier. It is indeed Carter Lyons, who's now wearing number 33. We have a truck coming in near the scoreboard, who I assume is
XL Energy by chance, or
Dakota Electric.
Like that? Sure.
We got one light flickering.
All right, here we go. We're in business again, Mike. This is tough field position to not get something going right away.
There you go. Free advertising for that company. Third second and 11 for the Wildcats. Hansen gets the snap, gets to step up, he's in trouble, and he's going to be dropped. He's going to get forward, maybe pick up a couple. Again, that 91 in there for the Panthers, so we don't have listed on the roster. We're going to try and get his name at halftime, figure out who that is. Bottom line, it's about a 2-yard gain for Hansen and a third and about 10 for the Wildcats, who can ill afford a 3-and-out right here.
Yeah, it's tough field position. You're deep in your own zone, and we're not a explicitly great kicking team. So let's move the sticks once here and see if we can't get something going.
3 left, 2 right. Panthers look like they're going to bring 4, 1 on a blitz. Hansen, far side, and was it picked off? The closest guy was a Panther, and they're going to say he short hopped him on the far side. It was 27 on North. Eric Weckman was almost looked like the intended target on that play. So 3-and-out for the Wildcats, and they're going to kick it away, which means North is going to have presumably excellent field position out near midfield.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Just look at the last play, how close Weckman was to getting this. Yep, it hit the turf. Speaking of turf, odd fact I was told tonight by one of their assistant coaches up here. Lakeville North, this is their first game on grass.
Wow.
Figure that one out.
Yeah, that's
and good return opportunity here for North. Across the 45, down 40. Can he get to the outside? Oh, big hit at the 36. Wow. And there's going to be a flag on the play, but guess who the Wildcats? He's our special teams ace. That's Vinny LeBaire. Greg got popped, and he will not forget Vinny LeBaire.
Oh, that was a big hit for sure. We got flags on the field.
Vinny, put that on your highlight reel.
Absolutely.
On the return, illegal block in the back on the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot, first down.
There you go. So it's going to back the Panthers up a little ways. They're still going to have excellent field position inside Wildcat territory, as the bank of lights is starting to trickle on that far side. Like the man with the white truck is doing well.
Doing his job.
Actually, I stand corrected. There you go. There's a look at the lights. That one on the right was the one that was problematic earlier. And I stand corrected because of the spot of the foul. It will start back at the Lakeville 49. Check that. With 8:16 to go in the opening half. Panthers up by a 13-0 count over the Wildcats. Panthers a really tight formation. And they're going to throw it. They're going to go for it all. He's got a man deep. And that's going to be caught inside the 20-yard line. I believe, is that number 8? I believe it is. Blachik got past, I believe it was Williams defending for the Wildcats. It was indeed Williams. 36 yards on that gainer for North.
You see that replay, Mike. We've talked about it all year. Our defensive backs can run with any receivers we've faced all year. The key is understanding they have a right to that football and turning and making a play on the football.
Straight ahead, I believe that's Nelson. And he'll get inside the 15. Check that Dalrymple, the ball carrier for the Panthers. Down to about the 13, give him 2 on that carry. Well, if Lakeville North is to put 6 or 7 on the board here, it's going to be very, very tough for the Wildcats on this one. Nelson, he's going to take the first crack. And Nelson, guess what? He just put 6 more on the board for the Panthers, 14 yards to the house. And it's 19-0 North. All right, we're 4.5 into the second, and the Lakeville North offense has awoken.
Yeah, they're definitely putting some points up now. And again, you talked to the coaches before the game. They want to score early and often, and they're making a point right now. They're creating a little buffer for themselves, and we'll see if the Panthers can kind of keep.
A little trickery. They're going for 2. Oh, he's dropped down back at the 15. Got him.
Probably a horse collar or a face mask.
I think it was Mason West. Was it a face mask? That was my initial reaction.
Yeah.
Personal foul, horse collar.
Yeah, horse collar.
On the defense.
Looked like he had him in the kind of on the side of his shoulder pads, and his head didn't jerk, but that's going to make the conversion a little bit easier. which is unfortunate.
Now, where do they spot this one?
I suppose half the distance.
Is it half the distance from
I would think so.
Watch Mason West come around. Actually, he's going to come straight ahead.
I think he's going to gather his tee and go home.
That's Walsh, the backup quarterback, with the throw, or attempting to throw for the Panthers, who do indeed lead by a 19-0 count. And the ball's going to be spotted just outside the 1, and I think Coach Vossen says, we're going to go for it from here. And you know what? Why not?
Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't go for 2 on the first go-around, unless they want to keep that kicking game kind of live for extra points down the road and 3-point field goals.
So a little confusion amongst the officials about where this ball should be spotted. Well, looks to me like it's in the right spot just outside the 1. I don't see Vossen standing on the field at about the 23 for Lakeville North. Let's see what this is about.
The personal foul. Collar from the end of the run. It'll be half the distance to the goal. Ball is placed at the 8-yard line.
Interesting. Okay.
So half the distance from the point
From
of
the spot.
You're right.
Okay.
So
there we go. End of the run foul. Here we go. So it's going to be at the 8. Now, does this change the thinking for Vossen and company? I don't think it does.
Well, apparently it doesn't. I don't see the kicker. He does have his tee. He's meeting with the coaches. And
I see Keebler over there, their quarterback, I believe, is talking to the staff. Now, Vossen's going to come out and talk to the officials.
There's some confusion, I think, on their part if they
Absolutely.
didn't get gypped on the spot.
Yeah, they're checking the. Vossen's got his hat off. There's a good look right there.
That's right.
Coach
Looks
Vossen.
cold to me.
I'm telling you what, for Brian Vossen, what a great guy. You know, I've had opportunities over the years to talk to him.
Sure.
Just personable, tells it like it is.
Yep.
You know, and you know what? He played under Larry Thompson back in the day, and I'm sure he learned some of that from Larry.
Absolutely.
But you know what? He's been here now. It's got to be 6 or 7 years he's been at North now. He's really developing his own program.
Sure.
And they've had a lot of success.
He doesn't look convinced right now.
No.
Another wholesale personnel change, and I don't know if I see the kicker, so, maybe I do. So I think he might have his tee.
Should mention the lights are fully back on now, for those of you that were worried. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be just a lengthy extra point now.
Nice
Spotted at the 15.
Test the leg.
I don't know. I mean, do you run a fake from here? They did it from in close. Might have been movement up front by the Panthers. Plenty of leg. Is it accurate? It's going to be close. They didn't got through. So Smith with the PAT. 7:25 to go opening half. 20-0 Lakeville North. And kind of an interesting stat. I don't know how you present this, but Lakeville North in their last 3 drives are 3 touchdowns. Eagan's had the ball 1 time in there, 3 plays for a total of 1 yard.
Yeah, I think a little dominance right now.
Because Dalrymple scored 7-0. They recovered an onside kick. Nelson from 20. Cats go 3 and out. Nelson from 14, and it's 20-0 Panthers.
Well, they've got time to at least, put up some resistance here.
Well, at this point, I think you have to worry about yourself. Admittedly, it's going to be hard to come back against Lakeville North,
Sure.
who I think was tied for 12th in the latest state rankings I saw, which with Prior Lake, who beat them last week, so whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's still a team. I wouldn't want to see them in the postseason. And it's interesting. We can talk about their sections. We mentioned that a little bit early on. They, Rosemount and Prior Lake, are probably going to be the top 3 seeds coming out of the section. Well, Prior Lake beat North, but Rosemount did not play North. So if by chance Rosemount were to get beat tonight by Shakopee, you would assume, as the Cats are going to get a nice return here out, actually up to the 19th. So let's assume Rosemount loses to Shakopee. That you would think Prior Lake gets the 1. And then you've got to battle Rosemount, Lakeville North for that 2-3 spot. And they didn't play this year. So how do you decide between those 2?
Well,
and the 2-3 is huge because if you're a 2 seed and you win the first game, you get a second game at home. It could be a very interesting discussion if Rosemount
Blocked
loses
in the back
to Shakopee tonight.
on the receiving team, number 30, half the distance, first down.
This is Vinny LeBert, the special teams ace for the Wildcats. They no that time. So Rosemont wins, they're going to be 1. You would assume Prior Lake would get the 2 because they beat North, and then it'll be North. Look for number 30 on your screen. I didn't see it, but so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from what looks like about their own 8-yard line. 7:17 to go in the opening half. 20-0 North. North has come to life here this quarter.
Yeah, tough field position too for the Cats to try to mount some sort of a comeback.
Hanson is going to scramble near his own goal line. He's going to get it out. Tries to get over the middle. That ball, I believe, did it get through?
It was tipped.
Tipped, okay.
Nice diving attempt by the defender.
That was Fossey that got his hand on it. I thought he grabbed it.
interceptable.
Yeah, I thought he had it initially. As you look at Woods, the intended target for the Wildcats. See how close number 3 and White came to getting this. Okay.
Just kind of comes into the frame from the left, but it was a lot closer than I think that replay showed.
2nd and 10, Cats still in the shadows of their own goalposts. See if North brings a few extras. Hanson, they're going to run it instead on the fake throw. That's going to gain out across the 10, set up 3rd and long. And Quanta, I believe, the ball carrier, and actually that's Lyons, I believe, and I believe he's the man that's down. Out hustling for the Wildcats is the trainer this year, our new trainer, Diana Bachland.
You know, with the numbers that we've got, we really can't afford guys to be getting too dinged up. Let's hope that he can hop up and shake it off.
Actually, it's going to be our big lineman. I believe is that Cody Smith? It is Cody Smith, number 75. He anchors that line. He's only a junior, but he's 6'4", 270. So I do believe it wasn't Quanta on the run then. And Smith. The pit, they're looking for something to cheer about here on a blackout. I like the signs they've got in front there for all the seniors.
Yeah,
nice.
That's pretty cool.
You know, and I like the, even you got Jake Tower in there, number 22. You saw kind of almost in the middle of your screen. Top receiver this year for the Wildcats. Broke his leg midway through the year in that Farmington game. Saw him out here walking around in the cast in some braces tonight. But yeah, McCullum, number 8, he's out. He's been battling mono. You see a lot of guys there whose names we don't mention a lot. Stump. There's Roush. He's a lineman this year. That's Jack Roshwater, I should say. Can't get the whole Roshwater on a sign, apparently. But Cats are really spread out here on 3rd down. Hanson, and ball is tipped, and it's going to fall harmlessly to the grass. And it's going to be punt time once again for the Eagan Wildcats. Well, they had the ball that time for a drive that took all of 34 seconds.
I think he had the right idea there, looking in the middle of the field, but he was trying to throw across the body, and it was kind of desperation mode, yeah.
Tough throw.
Flushed out of the pocket.
I say, yeah, give North credit for that. 6:43 to go opening half, 20-0 Lakeville North. North yet to use a timeout if you're thinking about those things. Eagan has used 1. Sackmaster to kick it away for the Wildcats. The ball on about his own goal line. Good snap. Kick off the side of his foot. Oh my gosh, that's going to be out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. There's the look right there that might is a picture of Eagan's season, unfortunately.
Yeah,
right there,
I think so. Not just tonight's game. Again, we've had some spirited contests. We've put some points up at different times. It's just that sentiment does tend to bleed through when you're down by 3 scores and your kicking game doesn't kind of get the job done for you right then and there. Great field position for
Eagan,
the Panthers.
27, the Panthers starting position this time. Fake, they're going to try and go to the house on 1st down. Got his man, is he in? And there's a flag on the play, incomplete, but they're going to get interference on the Cats? Sure would think so. And look,
they certainly have him double covered.
Blachik, the intended receiver. Blachik. Got a hard name to say. Blaschziek. Blachik. Well, flag was apparently picked up. Okay, 2nd and 10 upcoming. Straight ahead and get down to maybe the 21-yard line. To the big fullback again, that's Mikowski. Set up third and maybe one, short one, long two. As we approach the halfway point here of quarter number 2. And there's a pitch. Dalrymple looks for a seam, finds one, gets to the 20. It's not going to get the distance needed there. He might have actually lost a yard on that play. Looked like Heinlein was in there for the Wildcats.
Interesting time for the defense to kind of step up here with such advantageous field position for the Panthers, putting up a little stand here.
4th and 3. Panthers already up by 3 scores. Straight ahead with the fullback, and they're going to keep the ball first down inside the 15-yard line. Mitkowski. That was just straight ahead blocking, and you saw that offensive line for Panthers just do their job.
Well, they got the size. We talked about it. You talk about the gopher commit, the D1 interest. They just push forward, and when you're pushing against a guy that big, the defensive guys, they just can't do it after a point.
And our defense has been on the field so much.
That's something it's been apparent, but we certainly haven't discussed it like that.
Opportunity there. Good job that time by the Wildcats.
Real nice. Held them up and set them up for a couple more guys to finish them off.
Like first man in deed was Mason West, number 1. LeBaire finished him off. No gain on that time. Dalrymple was the carrier. Inside 5 minutes to go. Panthers looking to go up by 4 scores inside the red zone at the 13. It's Nelson in motion. Cut it up. Dalrymple inside the 10. He's going to get to about the 8 before he's met. West finished him off for the Wildcats. Trying to see who had the initial hit. I believe it was Grunke. Grunk Lee, check that, number 2. Ball spotted at about the 7. So let's give him 6 on that play. 3rd and 5, they're going to say officially for Lakeville North. Does Lakeville North risk going to the air right here? Nope, give it to the fullback.
Well, they're definitely getting it done on the ground.
Did he get far enough to get in? I think he's going to be just shy. And that was the big fullback once again, Miles Mitkowski. They list him at 6'1", 200. He sure looks bigger than that.
He sure does. Runs bigger than that for
Absolutely.
sure.
First and goal, you see how far they've got to go up 26 rip from the 2. Mitkowski's the up back. Dalrymple's deep. It's only fair that Mitkowski gets it. I think he did a good chunk of the running on that drive. 2 yards, and it's 26-0 Lakeville North. You know, this game was scoreless until late in the first quarter.
Absolutely. I mean, it's almost like there's 2 sides to this Wildcat team. They'll put up an entire quarter where they moved the ball well, they threw the ball well, they had a defensive stand to start the game. Then you get a quarter where it's like we bend, and ultimately you bend enough and people are going to get in the end zone.
Panthers going for 2. And looking to throw it. Rolling, throwing. Got it. Is it caught? Incomplete. Good coverage down there.
Yeah, real good coverage.
By the Wildcats. I believe that might have been Schultz on the coverage for the Wildcats. So it's 26-0 Lakeville North. Oh, we mentioned at the start of this game, Lakeville North in their 4 wins is averaging more than 41 points a game. In their 3 losses, they average just over 6. Let's take a look at the possible 2-point attempt for the Panthers.
A good coverage.
Yeah, it was very good coverage.
You know, we talked about it, that body-on-body and space coverage has been there at many intervals for this Wildcat team. The difference on a play like that, it really exemplifies it nicely. The defender went for the football.
And I stand corrected. I said it was Schultz. It was Grunkley. Drew Grunkley, number 2, the senior safety for the Wildcats. And North, I think we could say comfortably in front right now by a 26-0 count. Well, North did an onside kick late in the first quarter. Do they try it again? Why not just put it in the end zone? The Cats at their 20.
That wind is still keeping that flag just, it's out. It's not rippling like it was earlier, but it's definitely out. And I don't have my weather station here. Oh yeah, you can see the flags at the top of the grandstands. They're blowing nicely. The flag, our American flag, which is that half staff, a little bit more guarded from the wind by the geography and stuff, but definitely a little bit, if you're kicking to that hash mark, that ball was assisted a bit by this chilly breeze on this fall night.
I'm going to use my District 196 education and say that wind is blowing at 12 miles an hour.
Well, I like it.
Just a guess.
I'll measure the goosebumps on my arm and give you my official
There you go. Hansen near side and Quanta. That was nearly a pick six. And Quanta is going to get maybe a couple that time. Aggressive play, though, by the Panthers.
Yeah, like I say, the bubble screen is, we were talking earlier, watching one of the younger divisions, the sophomore contest, and we see the bubble screen a lot, and we talk about how it hangs a receiver out there with guys looking for pick sixes, and I just wonder that prevalence of that play, and it's wildly popular right now.
Hansen's got in Quanta in the backfield, trips right, solo left, and Quanta, he's gobbled up by a number of Lakeville North Panthers. Second effort got him ahead for a couple. But Eli Mostart was in there for Lakeville North, and I believe Mikowski might have been in there as well.
Yeah, he didn't quite give up on that first contact, but he didn't push the pile very far. It looks like the boxes moved.
Timeout.
About a gain of one.
First choice, timeout.
And Lakeville North will take a timeout. I think I might have stand correctly. I think it might have been 84 in there initially was Pete Bursich, defensive lineman, senior. Timeout taken by Lakeville North. So it's going to be 2nd and 7 when we come out of this for the Eagan Wildcats. You see 3:02 to go. We mentioned Eagan soccer. They're going to state. Hey, you know what? So's the tennis team.
Nice.
They are the Section 3AA champions. Team action October 24th down at the U of M. And when you come to individual play, well, you had Samantha Nichols beat Lauren Ferg in the section final. A couple of Eagan gals going at it. It was 7-5, 6-0 for Nichols on that one. Individual play starts the 26th down at the U of M. And Isha Varma and Catherine Kriska won the 3AA doubles competition. So all those gals are going to be heading down to the U of M next week for the state tennis tournament. Of course, we wish them the best of luck. And the volleyball team just continues to roll. They swept Shakopee last night. Number one team in Class 3A. I saw they got all 12 first place votes in the latest poll. And incomplete pass, and North once again is going to get excellent field position. For Eagan, that is going to be the third 3-and-out this quarter. And that will be their 4th overall in 5 drives. That's not going to really work too well for you, unfortunately. You go 3-and-out on 4 out of 5 drives.
No, that's tough. It's tough to put points up, even tougher to win games.
Let's see if Sackmaster can get a little better kick this time. He kind of shanked the last one. Good rush. That ball, I think that got tipped on the way up. Very favorable bounce, though. And that's going to get out to the 49-yard line. So in the books, it's going to be a 26-yard kick. So Lakeville North on the Eagan 49 after that 26-yard punt by Sackmaster. 2:47 remaining. 2 timeouts for the Panthers, 2 timeouts for the Wildcats. That's been something that's really been an issue this year, I think, for the Wildcats. It's been their punting. Not so much the punter themselves,
right,
but it's the idea that they are under such heavy pressure. I mean, you look at the Prior Lake game, and they had guys just flying in from the outside every time.
Well, it's a multifaceted piece of the game. There's the snap, there's the blocking, and then there's the punter's need to have the time to get a good kickoff, and they all have to hit on the right cylinders, and at different times this year, they haven't for the Wildcats.
North looking to throw on first down. They do. Far side. He's going to have his tight end. It's going to be about a 9-yard pickup on the far side. Tate Stalo with the reception for the Panthers. First time we've called Tate's name tonight. West on the stop for the Wildcats. Let's say 9-yard. We've got whistles all over. Do we get a timeout? Somebody? Or we got to get the ball spotted correctly. One of the officials from the near side came running in. 2nd and 1. You see the bottom of your screen. 2.5 to go here on ETV. And as always, special shout out to those of you watching us on the World Wide Web tonight off the Eagan TV website. If you want to check out other Wildcat games, hey, take a look on the website. They're also on YouTube now.
We're out there, Mike.
Here's Nelson, far side, and that's going to be a first down, and he steps out of bounds. Looked like number 3, Schultz, in there for the Wildcats. A little bit late on the coverage, but it was a nice play by Lakeville North, and it's going to be a pickup. Actually, yeah, they're going to give him 1 on that play. So that is a first down at the 39. Again, 2 timeouts remaining for Lakeville North. 2 for the Wildcats as well. And North is going to keep throwing it down. Boy, they just little in routes or little curls on that far side, and it's just so effective right now from North.
Well, they've run the ball very well tonight, and I think that they've long since softened up this Wildcat defense to throw the ball. The clock is kind of working against them, and 26 points is a lot of points, but they said they wanted to score a lot. I think they want to get in the end zone, Mike, one more time.
Oh, yeah. And there we go. It's coming the other way for the Cats with the INT. First turnover of the ball game. Tommy West. Or check that. Mason West.
Nice job.
I'm going to call him Tommy. Mason West with a pick for the Wildcats. That'll fire up the home side.
Absolutely. Little victories. He almost coughed it up on his own, as you can see once he takes a few strides in this, but really, really well done. Threw it right at him.
Yeah, I don't think the quarterback ever saw him. He was kind of hiding behind the defense.
And the lights are actually back on at this point, Mike, so how you could not see him kind of lurking underneath there is beyond me, but really heads-up play by our defense. Wildcat football.
Well, you've got to go in and get points on this drive.
Yeah, you do not want to, I mean, again, we talked all year long. It's about how you respond when given an opportunity.
Right.
You know, we're in our own side of the field. We're at the 50, basically. Let's see if we can go down. At least get a sustained drive, minute 48.
I'll look ahead. You get a score here. You also get the ball to start the second half. Hanson's going to go far side. Just missed over there. Intended receiver, I believe that's Woods. Why not go for it like that?
Absolutely. Nice pass, nice route, nice throw. Difference is that where the defender said, hey, I have a right to this football, the receiver was kind of caught on his heels waiting for what was a really nicely thrown ball to get there. And he said, hey, I need to go for that ball too. He might have hauled it in.
I mentioned we got Drew Alward as the Wildcats center this year. Jack Roshwater's lined up at left guard. We're trying to get some of those other guys mentioned as well, because, you know, we haven't talked about them a whole lot this year. And a minimal gain on first or second down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you get caught up in, talking about the guys handling the football and so on and so forth. And you forget about the guys up front that are, kind of grinding it out in the trenches, the entire game. And there's rarely an opportunity to call their name. So, yeah, not a bad idea to recognize them here, especially when they've been fighting for us all season long.
So Antonio Stepan, 56. Of course, man, we've got a false start on the. See, that's the time
that
to
recognize them. That is the time that they get their name called, and it's the time they don't want it called,
right.
Mike.
And of course, Bubba Lear, he's one of the captains on this squad. He's 6'2", 210. Yeah, and that's one thing Coach Hansen said, they've had really good leadership on this squad. Yeah, you're 1-6 coming in. It sure looks like you're going to fall to 1-7. You're going to be a heavy underdog next week.
Absolutely.
Coming off a winless season, it'd be so easy to hang your head when you're 16, 17 years old. He said, but these guys have done a really good job of keeping their teammates motivated.
5-yard penalty,
come
replay,
out, focus,
third down.
Practice hard. And that's all you can ask out of a captain.
Yeah, it's really, it's not the position you want to be in when you're talking about finding that lesson in a tough season, but it's still the lesson that needs to be learned and exemplified just the same.
And I believe they called offsides on North, by the way.
Encroachment, yes, sir.
Hanson going to go far side, and I believe Woods on the far side, I think, is the intended target.
Just a little bit overthrown. But again, they've shown time and time again, they can get those receivers free. Hanson's got the time. A couple of times when he has overthrown, underthrown, it's been because he's been a little hurried. I don't quite think he was under that much pressure on that one. That was just kind of floated a little long.
And I stand corrected. It was Sundberg, number 11, the intended target. A little surprised Cats are going to kick this one away here with 1:06 to go. It's 4th and 3.
They get creative, Mike?
Why not? Sackmaster gets that one off. Good kick.
Absolutely.
And it's going to bounce. Will it get all the way to the end zone? And it'll trickle in. So Lakeville North is going to take over at their own 20-yard line. First man down for the Wild. Well, you see there, one of them down. Colin Williams, number 4. Hey, let's talk about Colin for a second. I asked Coach Hansen before the Wayzata game, I said, give me a name of a kid who's really almost surprised you this year. And he had to think. He said, there's a lot of them, but he singled out, he mentioned Colin Williams was the name he came up with. He says, here's a kid listed at 5'8", 152. That might be with his pads on. That might be generous. But here's a kid, teams are throwing away from Michael Melville. They realize how good he is back there. Which is putting that much more pressure on Williams. And he's stepped up this year.
Yep.
Really held some receivers in check. He said there was the one play against Rosemont where the guy got behind him for a long score. But that Rosemont kid's done that to a lot of guys this year.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So Colin Williams, number 4 for the Wildcats.
Stepped up and filled the job.
Very nice season. And that's going to be a pass. There he is right there. There's Colin. He's a 5'8", 152 senior. First down north out to the 38-yard line. 2 timeouts for the Panthers. Keebler, he's going to run. He's going to get out of bounds right in front of the Lakeville, right at the Lakeville bench. And he's going to pick up about 8. So we're down to 43.8. Plenty of time for this Panther offense, the way they've been moving the ball.
Yeah, like I said, they've been able to do it both on the ground and through the air, and I would agree they can get at least in field goal range.
Keep an eye on Blaschick here at the bottom of the screen, number 8, just top left of the graphic. And they're looking that way. Oh, goes underneath. That's Nelson. He's going to get a first down into Eagan territory at the 49. Sticks are going to move. It's about a 5-yard pickup. And Sticks are moving on the far side. And North is indeed going to take a timeout. That'll leave them with 1. Couldn't tell if that was actually maybe intended for Blaschick, but doesn't matter. They got a first down at the Eagan 49-yard line. What else we got here? I had one other team updated. Oh, the swim team. They lost to Lakeville North, by the way, 97-86 last night. Boys soccer is done. Who we missed? Cross country. I know they had their big conference meet here a week ago. Never did hear how they did.
Well, their season probably isn't over. I was driving up Lexington today, and pretty sure that I was kind of racing the cross country team. I won, by the way.
And and their state tournament is down in Northfield. It's usually that first Saturday in November, so that's 2.5 weeks away.
Couple weeks away, right?
Yeah. North, fake pump. He's trying to looking deep, going to keep. And gets to about the 43. It's going to be 6 yards, but the clock's going to continue to run. Advantage Eagan there. See all the chances in there on defense for the Wildcats, number 12. Playing left end right now.
Yeah, he is.
Whistles all over the place. I would imagine we've maybe got a false start.
Sure seems like it might, given where the flags came from and when they were thrown.
And Mr. Official agrees with us this evening. Unfortunately, we didn't catch the referee's name before the ball game.
Nice
False start,
sure.
offense, 5 yards, replay, second down.
I do like that he was willing to wear a microphone, though.
I like that as well.
26-0 Lakeville North. 15.7 to go. Can't really see the point on the clock, but it is 15.7. We said this game was scoreless until about this point in the first quarter.
It has been the tale of a couple of different teams for the Wildcats this year. Brilliant stands and
hook and ladder.
movements.
Nope, not going to happen.
And then situations where they've just let teams kind of impose their will, as you said earlier, on them. So when they figure it out and they start to play a little more balanced football, these games will stay in check. We were winning the Wayzata game until well into the third period last week.
Yep.
The Lakeville South game several weeks back went into nearly into halftime, if not into the second half again, where it was very reasonably close.
Well, you mentioned the Wayzata game. You remember Wayzata was up, what was it, 20-0, I think, early in the second.
Right.
Cats got within 20-17 at half.
Yep.
And they kind of stayed within 3 there till late in the third, and then Wayzata got a couple scores.
Yep.
To,
which kind of skews the effort and what
absolutely.
led up to that. that'll do it.
That'll do it for the opening half. We're going to go to the locker rooms after I'll give them one on that last carry for those of you that are keeping the stats. So, a game that, as we said, it was scoreless late in the first quarter. Lakeville North then came alive, and they go to their locker room up by a 26-0 count over the Eagan Wildcats. Not much for the Pit to cheer about tonight. We'll see what happens if they get a little more reason to be excited in the second half. But right now, we're going to take ourselves a little break here at halftime. Again, it's Lakeville North 26, the Eagan Wildcats nothing. You're watching Eagan Wildcat football on ETV. Welcome back inside Wildcat Country as we get set for third quarter action. It's the Lakeville North Panthers 26. Eagan Wildcats, well, they've got a goose egg on the board after 24 minutes of action. My name is Mike Cook. Ken Merwin alongside me. Evan Cook up here keeping stats for us. And Ken, we kept Evan busy there in that opening half when you look at total yardage.
Well, if he was keeping track of the Lakeville Panthers activity, yes, sir.
Unofficially, at the half, Lakeville North has 320 yards of offense, not including penalties. 91 of those are through the air, so that leaves you at 229 on the ground. Eagan total offense thus far is 58 yards.
Yeah, big disparity there. And, again, you look at the scoreboard, another big disparity, 26-0. But, Mike, as you mentioned earlier before we went to break, it was 0-0 at the end of the first.
Yeah.
So you've got these situations where there's a tough defense. We started the game with a tough defensive stand. We walk out of the quarter a 0-0 tie. Big second quarter, obviously, for the Panthers. New set of downs here coming up in the fourth. Wildcats get the football. Let's see if we can put some points up. I don't know if you talked about it yet, Mike. We just got back on there. There's some interesting scores around the Metro tonight.
I haven't yet. As you look at the Pit here on a blackout on the last home game of the year for the Eagan Wildcats. Class 6A playoffs are going to start on Friday the 27th. And right now, the Eagan Wildcats seem to think that they're going to be the bottom seed in their district. Likely, Coach Hansen seems to think they're going to get the winner of the Cretin and Roseville game tonight. Right now, Cretin is up 19-7 at the half against the Raiders. For Lakeville North, things could get very interesting if things hold. Just down Highway 3 at Rosemount, middle of the third quarter, it's Shakopee leading Rosemount 19-7. So if Rosemount were to lose, Prior Lake wins, they're going to most likely get the 1 seed. Then it comes down to North and Rosemount with 5-3 records, assuming North hangs on here. Panthers and Irish did not play each other this year. Who gets the 2? Who gets the 3? We'll try and keep updated as we keep the old Twitter feed going here in front of us as well. Sundberg for the Wildcats gets things started here in the second half. Nice return by Tate out across the 30. Put him down to the 34-yard line. Good return by Sundberg. Senior, they list him as a wideout. He does a little bit of everything for this squad. Other scores of note, by the way. Apple Valley leads Sibley 28-7. In 5A action, Eagles are going to roll into the postseason at 7-1. Tonka leads Burnsville 28-0. Skippers are rolling, Blaze are not. And I think that's it for the ones we looked up here, the ones of relevance.
Right.
In Prairie leads Edina, I think it was 21-13 or something like that, late second half, or second quarter. Actually, Apple Valley's now up 35-7, by the way. Okay, -3 on that first play for the Wildcats. And we look at number 91 for Lakeville North. We figured out who that was. We did not have him listed on the roster in the opening half. Well, that's actually Will Mostert. Usually they list him as 51 in the program. So that would be the explanation there. So Mostert is 51. His brother Eli is 98. There's a couple of big boys there.
There sure are. You can see it. It looks like they got their front four is on 2 feet. They're posing to do something here.
Hansen looking to throw. Hansen looking to get dropped, and he does back at the 22-yard line. Look at those Panthers come bursting through. Brent Hawk was in there, number 33. Not sure he was touched on his way through.
Yeah, barely. All 4 of those guys up front were on 2 feet, and they were looking to shoot those gaps hard, and they made it through pretty easily. as we're looking at 3rd and a country mile here for the Cats.
Yeah, 23. That's 3rd and 21 officially. So it's a -9 on that sack. Just kind of looking at our stats. Eagan had 50 on its opening drive. Ensuing 5 drives, they'd have 8.
Yeah.
And this drive is -11 thus far. It's 3rd and 21 for the home team. Showing blitz again are the Panthers. They got him again.
1, 2, 3, and 4 Panthers in on that stop.
Yeah, first one in, I believe, might have been Varsity 84, but they have Mostart. There's the Mostart brothers right there, 91 and 80, 91, 98. Number 98, Eli, 6'4", 235. 91, Will is 6'4", 225.
Wow.
Actually, they're both juniors. I don't know if they're twins. Might be a safe bet. I apologize for the North fans that are still watching. I don't know the answer to that. Sackmaster gets the kickoff for the Wildcats. Definitely a returnable from his own 45. Across the 50, avoids his own man. Coming near side for the Lakeville Panthers. That's Greg. Gets down to the Eagan 41-yard line. Again, outstanding field position to start for the Panthers with 9:39 to go in this one.
Well, Mike, like you said, we're winding out the regular season here. We got a playoff game, greatest seed against the not greatest seed. Coming to the end of year number 2 of Coach Hansen's leading this team. And, I think we've made big strides. There's a lot of things to be polished. Probably year 1 when you think about the short season that he came into right away.
Yeah, I would agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Quarterback keep that time. And down to about the 38-yard line. I believe that's Keebler still in there for the Lakeville North Panthers. Actually, they have Walsh is now in. Check that for Lakeville North, number 16, the southpaw. In for the Lakeville Panthers. That's going to be a pickup of, I'll give them 5 that time. Yeah, and that Eagan, there goes that Eagan line. Those guys have been busy. They've just been pounded on all night long. See if they can make a big play here defensively. There's the pitch. That's Dalrymple. Across the 35 down, 34. Give him a couple, maybe 3 that time. Ryan Dalrymple, 5'11", 180. He's the senior. Well, you think back last year, and you see where the band was sitting before halftime. Empty in the background. The pit's still here. You think about Lakeville North last year, you had a guy like Wade Sullivan who ran for, I don't know what his final total was, but it had to be something like 1,600 yards.
Sure.
Now you've got, and it was Sullivan left, Sullivan right. Now you've got really a multi-dimensional team for the Lakeville North Panthers. And Walsh on the throw, is it going to be enough? It was a complete far side. I think it was. And there go the sticks. Nelson with the reception.
Yeah, they've certainly got options. If they were Sullivan left, Sullivan right last year, they've got a running back that can really get ahead of steam going downhill, but they've taken the ball to the air with success as well.
Right. And you saw Walsh right there. He comes in. He didn't play the first half as Keebler did.
Rolled left, kept his composure, found the sticks.
Yeah, and that was a 4-yarder on that one. And we've got flags aplenty, and we've got a false start upcoming on the Panthers. But again, you look at there's our Mr. Official. Forgot to get his name.
Play first down.
Let's see if we get any other score updates coming across the old Twitter world there, because we got a split second. But you mentioned, Eagan improved so much this year. Yeah, they're going to be 1-7 heading to the playoffs. Let's face it, they're going to be heavy underdogs, whoever they play next week. But yeah, you said it. There's a lot of improvements. Even just the sense of being around this team a little bit. There's an air of, you can see the confidence starting to build a little bit.
It's not something that happens overnight, Mike,
Absolutely.
as we see Dalrymple again.
Yep. Yeah, and he turn the corner 2015, finally taking it out. Actually, that's Nelson. Out to about the, what are they going to spot him, about the 12?
Yeah, again, you don't instill that confidence overnight or with one win or one, series of wins. So it's a process. And again, too, we finish out this season understanding that we made some gains. We get out there, we bring in kids to the program that are starting to buy into the fact that this is Hansen's team, and come join us and let's see what we can do together, and we get ready for next year.
And I think about you know, with Coach Hansen, you look at what the numbers were back August, you know, mid-August when practice started versus now. I think he's gained, it's somewhere right around 30 kids that have come out for football since then at the different grade levels, which how much of that is him being in the building, how much of that is just seeing the improvement this team is making on the field, even though the one-loss record may not be there.
Well, one thing that I've heard time and time again from the players themselves is that they're having fun at practice. Now, again, this isn't an association program. These are young men that are playing the sport. But at any given age, having fun's part of it. And that's how you get kids out. Kids translate, obviously, into numbers. Numbers translate into depth.
Right.
And we do this together. So that's, I think, the mentality that they're trying to build here in Eagan.
Well, and one of their big mottos is family. Here comes Walsh. By the way, he's taking down minimal gain there. If any, nice job by the Eagan D-line, hustling through. Might have been Heinlein on the stop. Laren with the stop. But, you know, the whole family thing, you know, the forget about me, I love you thing that a lot of teams incorporate. But you see it at practice among these guys, and you see the way they stress the positives. I mean, I know there's coaches out there that it's yelling and screaming and pointing fingers, and I don't see that with this crew.
No, I think there's a we're all in this together type mentality, and it's going to pay off in the long run. The offseason will be key for this squad. Bigger,
Walsh
stronger.
Throw, going on the crossing middle, touchdown. I think that's Nelson, isn't it?
I believe so. Nice pattern and just a pinpoint accurate throw.
I stand corrected. That was actually number 8, Blachik.
Just put it right on the number.
12-yard pass, touchdown Panthers, 32-0 Lakeville North. I mean, look, that's just a perfectly thrown football. Actually, I mean, pretty good coverage.
Yeah, no, and it's been that actually the defender was kind of making his effort to get to that football as well. But no, the coverage has been fairly solid all season long. It's just whether or not we actually understand we have a right to that football. But when it's thrown perfectly like that on a perfectly run route, 6 points.
And it's now 33-0 North as the kick is good with 6:06 to go in the third quarter. And again, you know, we talked about development a little bit, and you know, these kids are. The defense, especially for Eagan, has seen a lot of time this year. Those kids are gassed a lot of times by this point of the ball game.
Yeah, this is about the time right about now when they start to really get the lungs burning. You know, and again, too, you look at the scoreboard, 33-0. You look at the stat sheet, yards for them, yards for us. There's clearly no doubt who's having a great night here and who's not. The problem is that it builds itself real insidiously. We were 0-0 at the end of the first. Now here we're halfway through the third quarter, and it's 33-0.
Right. You know, and you got to look at the positives of this thing. You know, Coach Hansen told me before the game, this is a week he hates it because it's a short week. You played last Friday night. Now here it is Wednesday, MEA week. And for Eagan, it was homecoming last week, so you've got all that hoopla to deal with as well. And Eagan's going to start at the 20 once again as a kick hits the end zone. So for the Cats, it's been back-to-back, you know, maybe weeks where you're not going to be 100% focused.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, they want them to be, obviously, but, you know, they're kids. It happens.
Yeah, it certainly isn't helping much when you're trying to establish not even some momentum, when you're just trying to kind of stop the downturn of, hey, we're in the middle of this long, grinding, rebuilding situation. The short week ain't helping, and you got a really good Lakeville North team, a very balanced attack Lakeville North team as you see their front four up and ready to go.
Update from Irish Stadium, by the way. End of 3, 19-7 Shakopee. So that could be huge for the Panthers. Cats going to go near side, and that was picked off back at the 49-yard line. Opportunity for Lakeville North. This is going to be number 17 on the return. That's Ben Woodbury.
That ball's on the ground.
Can the Cats get this one?
Recovered back by the Panthers. Yeah, that might have been a miscommunication, Mike. That ball was really just pretty far off the mark.
Well, and I think it might have been Hansen. They're just trying to get something going. Well,
you're looking at those 4 down linemen, which aren't actually down there in 2-point stances, and they are just chomping at the bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know they're coming. And actually the offensive line did a nice job, as you'll see here, of kind of slowing it up, so there wasn't a lot of pressure.
Right. That ball was just, it was nowhere near Ernst. And I don't know if the wind might have actually taken that just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Crosswind.
Oh, it's definitely the direction it was heading.
But you can't, that's not an excuse. You still got to find Ernst out there. And the Panthers is going to run against Dalrymple And out about the 30-yard line, give them 4. Number of Wildcats still out there. Eagan starters still out there on defense.
Sure, and this is that time now when Lakeville will put the ball in the air probably, but at the same time, they got a comfortable lead. They've made their point, keeping the ball on the ground. We want to keep everybody healthy. Let's keep that clock moving.
It's like number 32 in the secondary is Carter Ganji. 6 foot 160 there for the Wildcats. Big 69 right there on the line. That's Taylor Elder. He's 6'1", 284, just a junior. So maybe the Cats are getting some more guys in. Carson Cooper, I think I saw out there, 63. Walsh looking to throw. He'll tuck it under and run. Stays on his feet. Second, third effort, and it's first down Panthers at the 31-yard line. 7-yard run on the keep. I don't know if we want to call that a keep or more just a kind of a busted play.
That kind of flushed out after a busted play.
There's Ryan Meekin out there. He's a 6'2 junior, wears number 44 for the Wildcats. Grunkley back there, number 2. He's been playing in the secondary all season. Actually punted for a while as well. You know, it's kids like that, you know, unfortunately a lot of them are seniors, so they've had this 2 years of struggles, shall we say, in the one-loss column. Here's Nelson, what a move there.
Wow, broke another
Still
one.
on his feet inside not about the 10. Need to get inside the 10. It's going to be close.
Yeah, right when you thought that first move was the big one, he went and broke another one to get another 5 out of the deal.
He got him down at this, looks like the 7, so that's a 24-yard run for Nelson. I'm curious to see what he's up to for stats tonight. Seven yards to go for the Panthers, already up by a 33-0 count. And are we going to be just shy, are the Panthers that time? Ball gets down to about the 1. Nelson coming up off the bottom of that pile with the football. (42-7) by the way, Apple Valley now. If anybody cares about 5A action up at Henry Sibley. Still haven't seen any scores come across on the Lakeville South Farmington game.
It's been the one void. Kind of surprising in today's day and age that every score isn't out there.
Good job by the Wildcat D that time. Oh, they're going to say he did get in on that second spin effort.
Oh, boy.
I looked like he was short there. I thought the Cats had him. Melville and company made the stop. That's check that back. Let's take a look here.
Nice containment, but that jump cut to the inside, and he didn't have a long ways to go.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good call. Officials right there. So Dalrymple, 1 from the 1 for 6. And can they make it 40? Kick is up. Kick is good. 3:52 to go in the third quarter. Lakeville North now leads the Eagan Wildcats by a count of 40-0. You know, I got to admit, coming into this game, I was fearful something like this would happen. But the way that Eagan played in the first quarter, nobody saw this coming.
They started out with a stop. Now, again, too, Lakeville North is kind of a run hot, run cold type team. They've put up a lot of points. They've been held kind of accountable for the things. We stopped them on the first thing, and what normally happens when we go out on defense, we get pushed back a little bit, and we have to kind of find our resolve. We stopped them, so.
I'll tell you right now, unofficial, I'm looking at total yards this quarter. Lakeville North has 84 and 2 touchdowns. Wildcats are -17 with an interception.
Yeah, pretty big disparity there.
Yeah, so the Lakeville North student section, they're going to be home next week. It's just a matter of who they play.
Right.
On the 27th down at Lakeville North, back on the turf. And then we'll see what happens to North. We'll see where they go. If they're home, if they're on the road. Good coverage again by North. And the Cats are going to start deep in their own territory once again. And really, field position has been huge as well tonight. You look at Lakeville North, both drives this quarter started at the Eagan 42. Now Eagan's back on their own 10. They started back, both of them were deep in their own end earlier this quarter. So 3:47 to go. And if you're Coach Hansen, do you start putting in some of the other guys? It looks like he isn't quite yet.
Well, again, too, I mean, it's a matter of just giving guys a chance to breathe. This game is a foregone conclusion at this point. Give some guys an opportunity to get out there and spell some guys. When you get tired and hurt, when you get tired, you're more apt to turn something, twist something, pull something. So keep your guys as fresh as you can. We got another game left.
Yep.
It's going to be a difficult one, but it's one that we deserve because we've been involved in this all season long. So don't put your guys, don't let their tongues hang out too far.
1 yard gain there for Sundberg. 2nd and 9. Let's see the Cats at least march down and get something. You don't want to be looking at that goose egg on the board.
Well, it'd be nice to get some points, no doubt. It's
there you go. Nice play there by the Cats. That's going to be a first down on the far side.
Kind of ceremonious, and again too, a little back look to the first quarter when there was a drive when we marched right up the field practically.
There it is, Sundberg. That was my assumption, but I wasn't 100% certain. 11 yards on that reception. First down, Cats. I'd have to look here, but I'm wondering if that's their first down since the first quarter.
I think it might be, Mike.
Ouch. Hansen's going to go. He's got his man. Oh, that was that was Ernst the intended target. That's just a little behind. Prior Lake now leads Eastview, by the way, 27-7. Block punt for a touchdown. Trying to see if we get any more updates coming from elsewhere or around the area for those of you that are still hanging with us, and we really appreciate those of you still watching us here on the World Wide Web. Hansen near side. Play read extremely well by Lakeville North. First man there is Eric Weckman, number 27. I'd say Weckman read that well.
Yeah, Ernst tried to seal that, but the receiver got a little inside of him, and he couldn't block him anything but into the ball carrier.
So 3rd and 12 from their 20 of the Eagan Wildcats. And I think Lakeville might have jumped on that left side. And I believe they did if I saw the official on the far side.
Yep. But it helped us out a little bit there.
Yeah. Cat's not going to decline that one.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense, 5 yards, replay the down.
Now the Pit's still going at it, getting the what going down there. Hey, give the Pit credit. They're still here.
They are still here in black, soaking up all that heat.
Yeah.
That might be
I think
us.
Eagan just gave the 5 back.
They might have.
There they did, yep.
Well, they're asking for, now they're going to mark it off right away.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Oh, we mentioned the Pit still being here, and really, other than that, it's kind of one of those, was the AT&T crowd, friends and family.
That's right, I would agree with that.
I don't think there's too many fans that are just here because they enjoy football. The home side, at least, right now.
Right on.
But, we've had good crowds this year. Give the fans credit. Hasn't always been the best result on the field, but they've been out here. They've been enjoying the Friday night lights, the festivities.
A lot of vendors here. We've given them a good show. We've scored our share of points. It's just that when we get to that certain point in the game, when our tongues hang just far enough out after just grinding for 3 quarters against sometimes larger teams, sometimes deeper teams, and then things get out of hand a little bit and the score doesn't quite reflect the kind of effort that we put into it. This game may not quite fall into that category. They've added the points slowly and slowly.
Right.
But the Panthers have kind of imposed their will, at least offensively on us.
On 4th down, Cats putting this away. Again, Lakeville North, they're going to have excellent field position.
Oh, he's going to pop this for a few.
And there's a flag that came flying in from way out. It's going to be taken back down inside the Wildcat 30. Well, let's see what the hanky's all about, because that was thrown in from quite a ways out.
Nice hit by the Cats put on that practice net for the field goal kicker. They really folded that baby up nicely as we get the call here in a second.
Speaking of Willis, he had a chance to put the first points on the board tonight.
He did.
That Eagan drive that he missed it just wide left.
He had
Illegal block in the back. On the return, 1st down.
You got the call from our mic'd up referee tonight. Yeah, Willis had a chance to put the first points up. Really stiff wind from his right to left. Had plenty of leg. Just maybe kicked it a little bit to the left to center. The wind took the rest of it, and maybe saved us. Prevented us from jumping off first. After a nice drive.
Yeah, absolutely. On 45 this time for Lakeville North. Can't tell if they. Interesting 3-receiver formation at the bottom of your screen. I believe Walsh is still the quarterback. And they're going to look to. Yeah, Walsh is actually going to step up. Always met by a number of Wildcats after pick up of about 3.
Kind of a little Malachi crunch thing as we have a Wildcat still on the turf.
I was going to say that's the last thing we want to see right now. Looked like 56 for the Wildcats. Antonio Stepan coming off. He was in on. He was one of the 3 in on that stop. And
that was 13. That was a little slow to get up, but it looks like he's up and coming off on his own power.
Sack master.
Yeah.
Stump will come in for the Wildcats, 41. So that was about a 3-yard run. We're down to 1:05 to go in the third quarter. Yeah, look at the size of that line when those boys stood up on that.
It's impressive.
There's Dalrymple once again. Boy, look at that surge by the line. Nice job, though, to wrestle him down. That was West still. He's still giving it his all out there. About a 3-yard pickup. Had West have not got him.
Yeah, no, he was looking for the corner. He was trying to make that edge. But, boy, great run up to a point. But way to stand your ground and make that tackle.
Yep. They're down inside 30 to go, third quarter. Hall's going to throw.
That ball's tipped.
Yeah, it should be punt time for the Panthers. Update from just south on Highway 3. Rosemont gets one back, 19-14 Shakopee with 8 minutes to go.
Turning into the game that we thought it was going to be, but kind of under a little different circumstances. I think they're in 4-down territory here at 4th and 4.
I would think you're pooch kicking it here, aren't you?
It looks like it.
I could be mistaken. And Pillows behind his intended target, Nelson. How much of that, people are going to look at that and say, you're up by 40. Really, what's the point? But I think on the other hand, you got to look at it and say, hey, we're trying something.
Absolutely.
We want to show our future opponents on film, hey, we got something here.
Yeah, there's 2 points you just made there, Mike. First of all, you can't practice things under game conditions unless you're in game conditions. Secondly, there are people in the stands here that are watching this Lakeville North team saying, hey, what are they good for? What can they do here? So maybe throwing them a look that they're not ready for. They weren't going for the end zone. They were throwing a little pass out looking for a first down.
Cats near midfield, 13.4 to go. Yeah, why not run it this time? You haven't done that for a while. You guys gained there, 6 yards on first down. That's a good call. Second, was that bottom of the pile in Quanta, yep. We mentioned him before. I mean, he's really developed nicely this year from the running back spot for the Wildcats.
He's done some good things for us. There are times when we wonder why he doesn't get the ball more, and then there are times when running up front's tough sled no matter who's got the football, and we understand why they look elsewhere.
So we've got 000s. And do we have a penalty here maybe? I didn't see a flag.
No, it's definitely quarters, so no. Box, the sticks are all moving. Cats are huddled up with the coaches on the near sideline.
Irish down by 5. They've got the ball at midfield with 6:40 to go in that one.
Anybody's ball game.
We said Rosemont wins, they get pretty much assured the #1 seed in their section or their district for the playoffs. They lose, it's most likely going to be Prior Lake. And then it's Rosemont and Lakeville North, and really a vote for 2-3.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a big game for Rosemont. They need that win to kind of keep things under their own control.
Straight ahead on the run. I got maybe half a yard that time. One thing here, fourth quarter, it's 40-0. We are in running time as we're in the fourth quarter. We'll get our graphic fixed there. No yards on that one, we'll say. There we go. In a minute, we'll be sure. We'll thank the guys in the truck here.
That's right. They've done a fine job for us all season.
Yeah, we got some names we're going to rattle off here at some point. Just remind me, will you?
Absolutely. Stat guy?
Yeah, Evan's got to do his duty.
He's a
Quanta for. He's got to. He's going to be close to a first down. And let's give him 3.
Stat guy's been busy tonight. The big numbers that the Lakeville Panthers came into town and putting up.
Well, he's been busy in between bites of a hot dog, and I think he had a Hershey's
Hot
bar
dog,
up here too.
chocolate.
Yeah.
You got to stay warm. Got to keep a log on the fire.
Absolutely. Cat's going to go for it here on 4th down, and why not?
Why wouldn't you?
You've got absolutely. Why not? Yeah.
Mike, you mentioned we're in running time here.
Yep.
It's pretty much everywhere's 4 down territory at this point.
Sure. Hanson, high snap. He's going to throw. He's got his man far side, first down, Cats. Beckman on the coverage, and I believe that's going to be Ernst.
Yeah, nice throw and catch on that one. Receiver caught the ball, turned outside just in case he hadn't found the sticks, but he did at that point, which is so vitally important. A lot of times we get these shorter passes and then the tackle's made just short of the line to gain.
Again, another confidence play.
Absolutely, and again, too, we talked earlier about the Panthers trying something new here and there and doing things. Same with the Cats. Game conditions, everything's a victory if something works.
Carter Lyons, one of the rare times we've seen him with the football tonight. I think that's only his second touch, I want to say.
Yeah, he hasn't carried the ball a ton.
We
haven't been out there a ton right now at this point.
Well, in a passing situation.
Right.
And he was battling a groin injury here a few weeks ago. And I know they've kind of been easing him back a little bit into things. I'm sure he'll be all systems go here in about 9 days when the Cats are in their playoff game. Being Quanta on the little swing pass. Gets down about the 35. Pickup of about 1. Again, Cats, Coach Hansen seems to think Eagan's going to be playing the winner of tonight's Cretin and Roseville game next week. But, check the State High School League website on Thursday for those of you that are watching this on the web. If you're watching this on ETV or watching this on YouTube, hello. But, just going deep couldn't quite happen. But, check the High School League website. You're probably going to know by the time this thing airs on ETV.
Sure.
Where and when. Well, we know the when is the 27th. If it's at Roseville, probably a 7 o'clock start. I believe Cretin likes to start their home games at 7:30. So we shall see what happens. And Cretin, of course, plays their home games at the University of St. Thomas. Get there early for parking.
That was a great pass thrown by Hansen down into that corner. And, the ball kind of floated, but it was kind of deceptively, it was still flying through the air, and he just overshot the receiver. Yeah. But I could almost see with the arc of the pass that the receiver may have wanted to slow up a bit, thinking that he was going to get himself under the ball, but it kept going, and that's too bad. That would have been a big play for maybe even 6 points.
Yeah, again, you got to wonder, the way that one kind of drifted over, was it wind aided?
Yeah, and maybe. I'll tell you something, the flag's still moving down there about the same speed. If you get a chance to give us a shot of those flags at the top of the stadium here, they are moving pretty steadily. Thanks, guys. Pretty steadily still, and they're pushing those balls around, especially those arcing passes, the ones that aren't really zipped.
By the way, Rosemont just turned the ball over on downs. Shakopee up 19-14. This tweet doesn't have a time remaining, but Rosemont started that drive with about 6.5 to go, I think.
Wow.
Or was it 8.5? Bottom line, we're getting in the late stages of the fourth quarter down there at Irish Stadium.
And again, we talked about what a big game that is for the Irish, because they win the game, they basically kind of answer their own question, where are we going to be seated? Right. They don't win that game, and they're kind of at the mercy of the powers that be, which they sorted out tomorrow.
And that's going to be a turnover on downs by the Wildcats. So Lakeville North going to take over with 8:50 to go. Hey, let's be sure. We want to thank the Eagan football sponsors this year, because let's face it, without the business community and the sponsorship going, it wouldn't be what it is. Again, the urgency room is on board. Summit Orthopedics, Dan Ehrenberg, sold by DE.com. Quilted Memories, Bald Man Brewing, Wyatt's Twisted Americana, of course, Cooper's Bar and Grill, the big football hanging out up there on Highway 3. I know they have bingo and meat raffles. Carboni's Pizzeria, Wildcats Bar and Grill, Superior Service Center. Great to have all these people on board.
Absolutely. And, you talked about the bingo up at Cooper's. The booster club here for the football program in Eagan is very, very strong. And we've got several establishments that are on board. with the bingo, you talked about Cooper's. Baldman's got a wonderful site for the bingo, as does Wyatt's Twisted Americana. Bingo's a fun game. Definitely helps us keep programs like this alive. So support your booster club, irrespective of whether you're a Wildcat fan, Panther fan. Kids athletics at the high school level deserves actually all academically programs and extracurricular activities. Support those booster clubs. They keep these kids on the field, in the studios, in the concert halls, and wherever. So nice work, booster clubs across our viewing area.
I know I've been to Lakeville North, and they do a nice job of getting their sponsorships as well down there.
Hey, did you see there was a sportsmanlike against the Panthers at the end of that turnover on downs? And of course they did mark them back 15. I don't know, it was maybe just a little, that little late game juvenile squawking. So I didn't see anybody lay a hand or a glove on anybody. So backed them up a little bit. Panther football, running time, 8 minutes left in this one.
And they've got a lot of their third stringers in there. There's a nice run coming near side. And can this guy go to the house? It's going to be 76 yards if he did, but he does not. And number 88 rambling his way downfield for the Lakeville North
19
Panthers.
Wrapped him up.
It's Cole Breno. He's a senior running back. So, good for guys like this to get their opportunity as well. And you see Eagan's got a few fresh faces out there as well. For example, Chad Masson, he's been out there a lot this year, 52. I see 57. Austin Holm was in the game. He's a 5'9" senior.
Personal foul, number 57 on the defense. Unnecessary roughness after the play was over.
Speaking of Austin Holm.
57. 20 yards behind the play, boom.
The referee still has his mic on.
I was just going to say, he's got his mic on. If he talks in his sleep, we're all in for it.
We're liking that one.
We are, but we got it, ref, and we're going to get started here as we're under 8 minutes to play.
I believe that Breno once again.
It was away from the. I think he may still have his mic on. We did. It was away from the play. I saw the tackle at the line.
It was 20 yards away from the play, according
Absolutely,
to the official.
Yeah. He starts barking off his shopping list. On the way, what? Get milk and bread on the way home? 10-4, honey.
He says, I'm stopping at Cooper's, dang it.
So in any event, we got a nice little help to their offensive drive on this one.
By the way, Burnsville falls to Minnetonka 42-8.
Not an overly penalized football game until about the last 30 seconds, because another one came out from behind. Probably going to be a hold, would be my guess.
Rosemont has the ball at their own 30, down by 5. Neither they nor Shakopee tweeted the time. But Rosemont said, looks like last chance.
All right.
So there you go.
Again, they're not in terrible shape, even if they if they lose this game. They got a good program. They're in a pretty good position, even as the 2 seed. It could get worse, maybe. They could be the 3 seed, I suppose. But they have an opportunity to kind of answer that question for themselves. We'll see what they can do.
I don't know who Elk River's playing tonight, but they're up 71-21.
Ouch.
Yeah, good job by the Wildcat D to string out the quarterback. Looks like, who is that? West is still out there for the Wildcats. He hasn't given up. Yeah, there's a look at the Panther signal caller right now. Where's jersey number 18, Mark Warden. He's a 6'1" senior. Always good to see those guys get some chances as
Absolutely.
well.
I mean, on a team as deep as Lakeville North, you can bet that when you're up 40-0 and you're starting to look at, where we're going to be next week and who we're going to be playing, a lot of the guys that have just really run scout teams and been ready in case they are needed are getting a chance to get out there and play a little bit.
3rd and 18 with just under 6.5 to go, and it's going to be 4th and even longer on the miscue there by Lakeville North. We mentioned some of the corporate sponsors. We should mention Friday Night Lights vendors here on the final week of the season. Maui was out there. Chick-fil-A was out there. Nothing Bunt Cakes and the Heavenly Feast Barbecue.
All very popular. Great program, Friday Night Lights.
I know our stat guy had part of the barbecue from Heavenly Feast.
Yeah.
He agreed.
Pretty good stuff, huh?
He said it was good.
Nice.
He's got a little on his cheek, but we're not.
Attaboy. Well, we'll lick it off you later, kid.
We're not going to tell him about that.
Saving it for later, as they say. I know the Chick-fil-A is very popular, as you get a nice shot of what was once a fairly packed for MEA weekend, Wildcat Stadium.
Straight ahead, another big fullback. That's number 45
Took
for
a
the
big lick on the tail end of that run.
Is that Ben Schweiders? Or Nicholas Mines, I think, actually 41, not 45. He's a 5'11 sophomore. Vossen was telling me, I think it was the Wyzetta game, he says they got down to the running back injuries. They came down to a sophomore fullback, and I'm guessing that might have been Mines he was referencing.
Wow.
Because they just had so many injuries.
Yeah.
And again, they're doing it tonight without, one of their top backs, if not the top back, and that's Brian Curtis Jr. He's out with an ankle injury. Roger Nelson had been battling a little bit of an ankle injury too, I understand, but he's back. He looks pretty good right now. He's had a nice night tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely shared the load.
Dalrymple's had a good night, I think, for Lakeville North.
He runs just really upright and fast. We talked earlier about how he gets in that hole in almost split second.
Cats looking to run in Quanta. And
maybe back to the line of scrimmage, huh, Mike?
Yep. There's a whole bunch of Lakeville North Panthers in on that stop. Jed Pomasai on the bottom of the pile, 29. I think 76, Kobe Schroeder was in there as well. 447 and counting.
As Coach Hansen's trying to build this program, earlier we did see on the special teams units, we saw some of the sophomores that have been dressing all season long. And I don't know if that would have pertained to the kickoff squad. We are still sitting on a goose egg here, but definitely we've seen some young guys that are going to be the future of this program getting out there on the kick return. So that's nice to see. And again, too, in Wildcat country here, it's all about building for next year at this point, obviously. And so we're trying to generate some excitement, and those sponsors that you mentioned, Mike, and the pit and the fans still, the AT&T fans that are still here, the friends and family package. Hey, we're in it for next year, obviously, but we got another game here, and I won't go as far as to say who knows what can happen. Let's go out there and just play with pride.
Absolutely.
And just wind this out correctly, and then get to the weight room in the kitchen, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah, we should mention, understand, it's been a rough year all around for football this year. The sophomore team, 0-8. Freshman 0-8. But they lost a heartbreaker earlier today in a 2-0 game.
It was yesterday, Mike, and they sure did.
Yesterday,
and
okay.
I was talking to one of the coaches on that squad during the sophomore game, and I understand that after the game, it was a laughable safety. The ball was snapped over the and out of the end zone, so it wasn't even like they pinned him in and actually committed the safety. They hit the coach after the game with the Gatorade thing.
Oh, did they?
So they gave him the dousing, and it was chilly. It's October, Mike. So Coach Kovac was telling me how he got the Gatorade treatment, and the whole team, as they piled onto the bus, their spirits were high. And these are a group of kids that, as 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, they had a lot of success. Very athletic bunch of guys, and they're going to work it out, and they're going to be up at that sophomore level next year, getting ready to contribute. Like the sophomore team this year, they had a rough go of it.
Yep. Well, Kovacs, he told me basically that same story, but he also said late in the game, the freshmen were driving, got down to about the 20. High snap, ball went back to about the 50, and that was that. By the way, Rosemont just turned the ball over on downs. Shakopee has the ball in midfield, 2:20 to go, up by 5.
All right. Move the sticks once, depending on first downs, that could be it.
Yeah, well, in timeouts, I don't know what Rosemont has. But Cats trying to go deep. They got a man, and it's going to be just outside. Tyler Ernst, the intended target. I'll tell you, Ernst, I like what I've seen out of him this year.
Absolutely.
He wasn't one of the early season starters, but again, a kid that's just developed, gotten better. I mean, he's got some size there.
He does.
He's 6'3", 163. Unfortunately, he is a senior. But yeah, I thought he stepped up nicely for the Cats this year.
Well, and I know we're not on the air next week because we're obviously going to be on the road, but some things that we've gleaned from this season about the direction the program here in Eagan needs to go. They need to put numbers on the sideline. I've talked to person after person after person. We understand that this coaching program is one that's in a rebuilding mode. We're regenerating excitement. So a lot of people aren't looking at the program in terms of wins and losses. Yes, wins are good. It helps with numbers and so on and so forth. A lot of people want to see kids coming out. You generate numbers by having a good time, playing with pride, despite whether you win or lose. The wins will come. After that, as we get a little motion out of the chance there, after that, you get these boys football ready, weight training programs, strength training programs, functional strength, explosive speed, explosive strength. Again, we're in the middle of we're in the early stages, I should say, of a retooling, a rebranding of the Eagan football, and it's been a lot of fun watching these boys. These seniors have a lot to be proud of as they wind down their career next week here at Eagan. And
hey, they might keep going. You could pull the upset.
Well, you never know. I mean, that's obviously what we're pulling for. Oh, 2 guys. Mike almost picked it off for the Panthers. Clock still continues to tick.
And we talked about playoff seeding. It's going to get interesting. Rosemount lost.
Wow.
Shakopee beats Rosemount. Prior Lake wins. Lakeville North is going to win.
Sure. The guys that are waking up for coffee and Danish at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning to figure this whole thing out, they've got their work cut out for them, and Rosemount made it more difficult by not pulling off that win against Shakopee tonight.
To me, North gets the 2 over Rosemount.
I don't think so.
Just naked eye, the 2 teams, we've seen them both.
Yep.
Granted, we saw Rosemount, I think it was, week 3 back here. But you just lost to Shakopee at home.
Absolutely, that's exactly it. That's probably the deciding factor. Rosemount started off 0-2. They pulled it back together as we see the clock continuing to run.
Should be the final play of the game.
Rosemount started off 0-2. They bounced back, but again, too, they had everything under their own control, and they dropped one at home to Shakopee. So we'll see how it works out.
And you look at a Lakeville North that lost to Eden Prairie, Maple Grove, Prior Lake.
Precisely.
Yeah. And Cat's going to have time for one more. 2, 1, and why not? Give it to them. Hanson going to go deep. Can they avoid the shutout?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Just missed.
You got to lay out for that one. But you know what? It's been a fun regular season. The Cats have a lot to build on. They got a lot to be proud of, Mike.
Absolutely. Check your numbers, ladies and gentlemen. 0 and 0 are the winning tickets. Oh, wait a minute. That's wrong sport.
Different sport. Different level of sport.
But Ken, you said it. The Cats, a lot of positives. It's another building season. I think they have a lot to look forward to, especially in 2018. And hey, this season's not over yet.
No, it's not over exactly yet. The sophomores on this year's program coming up with a lot of pride. Our freshmen moving into that sophomore mode, same thing. We're rebranding. We're looking at a new era of Eagan football. Let's pick up and go from here, guys.
So Wildcat fans, be sure and check out the different media outlets, the high school league website. See where the Wildcats are playing. We know it's going to be a road game. We know it's going to be Friday the 27th. Coach Hanson seems to think it's going to be Creighton or Roseville. Haven't seen an update on that game lately. And for Lakeville North, hey, good luck wherever you play. They are going to be a tough out for anybody.
Absolutely, I would agree.
So, again, that's going to wrap things up from Wildcat Country. Hey, I want to be sure we thank some of the guys that helped us out this year and some mostly volunteer crew here, but helping us out, Dalton Gruber, Jeff Anderson, Josh Sibley, James Sorensen, Dan Callahan. They're all down in the truck tonight, and we've had other volunteers throughout the year. Hey, really appreciate everybody's help, and we're thrilled each and every year to bring you Wildcat football here on ETV.